Hello everyone, it's December 27th, 2017. This is Laura Walker from oraclereport.com. This recording is called The Storm and Saturn, Humanity's Victory Over Tyranny, December 19th, 2017 through December 17th, 2020. This is part one of what may be several parts if we continue to follow. This report will cover December 19th, 2017 through January 15th, 2018, which is the day before the new moon in Capricorn. On December 19th, 2017, the planet Saturn entered into its home sign of Capricorn, where it will travel through December of 2020. This is not so rare an occurrence. It happens every 29.4 years, but this time around, Saturn is not alone. This time around, the Black Moon and Pluto are with Saturn, making for a far more rare and special time, the time when I believe the mass awakening of humanity culminates to reclaim its sovereignty and to overtake dark forces that have dominated the globe. This happens during the years 2018, 2019, and 2020 as Saturn makes the uphill climb through Capricorn. We remember, though, that the process of, or the battle for, humanity's victory began on April 18th, 2015 with the new moon in Aries at 29 degrees of Aries. In astrology, the new year is calculated as the date of the new moon in Aries, which is the natural time of beginnings and spring in the northern hemisphere. The Sabian symbol, or ancient energetic description for 29 Aries, is the music of the spheres. And this was a reset energetic. It recalibrated things. The importance of the 2015 Aries new moon was indicated by the lunar month just prior, if you remember, the Pisces new moon, which was a total solar eclipse at the last degree of the zodiac, and therefore the ending of a great cycle, 30 degrees of Pisces, that is, with the Sabian symbol, a majestic rock formation resembling a face is idealized by a boy who takes it up as his ideal of greatness, and as he grows up, begins to look like it. So we're now at the midpoint of this 5-year period that I talked about in 2015, and that it would culminate in 2020. So we're at the midpoint of that now and taking a look at how the progression is. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Saturn specifically. Saturn archetypally is the representation of structure, foundation, time, discipline, responsibility, success and failure, and order. It's the energy of the father, and it offers a guiding presence. It can be a fierce taskmaster. It enjoys tasks and checklists. Anything that is not held within strong integrity crumbles under the electromagnetics of Saturn. The Black Moon and Pluto, again, both of them with Saturn in Capricorn now, they carry exceptionally heavy energetics in and of themselves because they are both considered underworld energies, quote, underworld energies. But when the Black Moon and Pluto are together, a spark occurs and an alchemical reaction of revolution and renaissance begins. In astrology, Capricorn is classified as an earth sign, meaning it is very practical and grounded, and it's visible. The results are visible. Capricorn makes things quite real. The core forms of things are altered. Rectification occurs. This time around, Saturn's journey through Capricorn is a journey through the underworld or under earth, since it is flavored by the underworld influences inherent with the Black Moon and Pluto. So Saturn, the Black Moon, and Pluto and Capricorn are all working together, tipping the underworld right side up, bringing to light all that has been shadowed and shuttered there. This is why we see people going to depths of darkness now. The foundation of the existing New World Order structure is under heavy duress. And the time is right for an alchemical reaction, a storm of revolution and renaissance. Humanity's victory through December 17th, 2020. So we begin. December 19th, 2017, Saturn entered Capricorn. Saturn officially entered its home sign of Capricorn with the solstice. This is the natural time of winnowing. It begins with drawing lines and orders and borders, and the storm to bring revolution being birthed. On Christmas Day, December 25th, 2017, Venus entered Capricorn. So Venus joined the Sun. The Sun is now in Capricorn also. The Sun, Saturn, and the Black Moon and Pluto in Capricorn on Christmas Day. Interestingly, in the story of the Nativity, the Magi, or the Persian keepers of ancient Gnostic astrocosmology, astrology is much older than the Persians. The Magi were following the brightest star, which today we call Venus, which is commonly understood as Venus. The addition of Venus is the perfect complement to the Black Moon's energetics, because Venus and the Black Moon are the two sisters, the light sister and the dark sister, and they unify polarities and bring balance. Venus wants to shine brighter now because it's just entered Capricorn and it's beginning a chase to catch up to the Sun, or meet up with the Sun, which will take until January 9th, 2018. And that's a big day to highlight as part of the victory. And also, just to add, if you're interested in learning more about the astrology of the Black Moon, if it's new to you, you can see my free ebook, oraclereport.com/books. There's a detailed treatment of the Black Moon and its transits there, if this is new to you. Also, note that on Christmas Day, Mars, which is the planet of war, among other things, also began a chase. It began a chase to conjunct Jupiter, to meet up with Jupiter, the planet of expansion, and that will take until January 6th. So understand that we have these two separate conjunctions in effect until between the January 6th and the 9th. On December 26, 2017, the Sun made conjunction with the Black Moon at 4:43 p.m. Eastern Time. When the Sun and the Black Moon make conjunction, shadow sides show out. Whoa, try that one 5 times. The shadow sides show out, act out, and are drawn out. There's a great deal of projection onto other people. The conjunction occurred at 5 degrees Capricorn, 19 minutes, or 6 Capricorn in the Sabian symbols, and that Sabian symbol is 10 logs lie under an archway leading to darker woods. This energetic directly translates as entering a time of deconstruction with all that one needs, everything that you would need to do that, deconstruction and reconstruction. After years of tracking the movements of the Illuminati, of the global cabal, I've deduced that they use the numerology known to us from the Mayan culture, handed down, I should say, remembered. Mayan numerology operates on a system of 1 to 13, with 10 being the energetic of deconstruction and destruction. The next number, 11, represents rebirth and renaissance. So entering the archway of the 10 logs takes us through darker woods, but we light our way to the rebirth of 11. So in other words, the 10 logs provide the substance needed for fuel. If you're having a difficult time now, if you're struggling, find your 10 logs, find the substance, find the sustenance you need, even if it is a substitute. This is about trying new things, rectification, putting things together in a new order with Saturn, rearranging. So we rely on our inner resources and our inner connection with truth, justice, and love as those things that stand opposed to truth, justice, and love can no longer sustain. The Sun and the Black Moon bring ultraviolet light, and this makes darker forces shriek and cringe and causes them to become reckless with their moves. December 27th, 2017, the Moon contacts Uranus and Pluto. The Moon is aspecting Pluto and then Uranus in the afternoon. Information comes to the forefront. It's redistributing the burden of knowledge by more people becoming aware. And so the burden of knowledge, the burden of the truth, the weight of the truth that people, awake people and aware people, have been carrying for some time, gets spread out now so that it is less of a burden. Double promises and double crosses are revealed, and shockwaves come from that. Things that are done in the dark are brought to the light, with the moon contacting these two planets on the 27th. December 29th, Venus will conjunct the Black Moon. So the conjunction of Venus and the Black Moon occurs once a year, and it's one of the most fulfilling of all astrological transits. The collective of humanity makes a great stride as it wrestles its way from the falling control systems and exhibits zero tolerance for abuse. So this is building. The cabal counters with vengeance, but the principles of liberty prevail with this. Relationships are re-examined, standards are raised. Moving ahead to January 2nd, 2018, Uranus will station direct. When this happens, swift, decisive, and potentially shocking events emerge to further the agenda of awakening and revolution. Global interests of the cabal are disrupted under this energetic, regardless of how things might appear at the time. Uranus has a more long-term effect, where once the initial shock is sustained, it can take some time to see that there was so many blessings within that. And the boomerang effect is very strong with it, and the blowback is rapid as the energetic tends to shear off the veneer of things to reveal deception and truth. Uranus rules the unpredictable, so it's best to expect the unexpected. Uranus, anytime a planet stations retrograde or direct, can be a very intensive day. When Uranus is involved, accidents can occur. So we want to be very cautious New Year's Eve and going into the 2nd, and being smart, being aware of what's going on around you. January 6th, 2018, Mars will conjunct Jupiter in Scorpio. This is all about strikes. Mars will meet up with Jupiter after this time of chasing it. It will open up a new curtain in the theater of war. The energy goes as low as it does high. Anger, retaliation can battle against the forces of love and cooperation, only to eventually find defeat. But what we see with it, we wonder, is there any end to the depths of the depravity? What more could there be? This energetic brings the issues that need to be addressed to a wider swath of people, which may stretch some people's ability to process and comprehend. So you can see how with all of these energetics in this time frame I'm outlining, is you can see how it's putting a lot of stress on people. I might note that this may be affecting you to an even greater degree if you have the sun, if you are a Cancer or a Capricorn, you have the sun in Capricorn or Cancer, or if you have the Black Moon or Chiron in Capricorn or Cancer, those signs. The people with the Black Moon in Cancer and Capricorn are the ones that are enduring the brunt of the shift here at the midpoint of this 5-year period towards victory, towards Renaissance. And it is no easy feat to undertake that journey when Pluto is in that sign alone, much less when Saturn is in that sign. And so may I offer you some comfort knowing that what you're going through is purposeful and productive and in collaboration not only with higher energetic forces but other fellow human beings. A great band of people. January 7th, 2018, Pluto moves to 20 Capricorn. So Pluto moves very, very slowly, and it takes a relatively long time to move 1 degree on the zodiac. And the day it moves is often pivotal and foreshadowing the themes that will unfold over the next 30 days. That takes about 30 days for Pluto to move 1 degree. Long time. That's because it's so far out there. The Sabian symbol for 20 degrees of Capricorn is a hidden choir singing during a religious service. I love this symbol because unquestionably, every time it comes up, support for humanity, support for humanity's victory over tyranny emerges from the background. Assistance is rendered. I've studied the Sabian symbols for 15 years now, and when I woke up, which was in 2006, and began to study how the New World Order was operating with the within the framework or the order of the Sabian symbols. I could just see it over and over again, how there was always an underlying support. It's might be very important to remember that during that January 6th through 8 period that I'm in talking about here now. And on January 18th, Mercury will conjunct the galactic center. That'll occur at 5:06 a.m. Eastern Time. Remember, this is the degree of the new moon that we had. We're under the lunar month of the new moon in Sagittarius from December 18th at the degree of the galactic center, which is the sculptor's vision is taking form. And so Mercury will hit that degree on January 8th, and so it'll restrike it. It re-hits it. Like, you could think of it as a key on a piano. It'll strike that, and then themes that were going on at the beginning of the month, or dominant things that have been happening all month long, because remember that the energetic in place at the new moon is carried forward and grows, develops throughout the month. And anytime a planet reaches that degree or aspects that degree, there will be a re-imprinting of sorts with it. Also on January 8th, the moon will begin to make a square to Venus, the Sun, and Pluto. So Venus and the Sun and Pluto are quite close. January 8th, the moon will activate this, which will be a bit of a precursor to the next day, January 9th, 2018, when Venus will make exact conjunction with the Sun, 1:16 a.m. Eastern Time. The chase that's been on since Christmas Day will culminate. Venus will conjunct Pluto, and then the Sun will conjunct Pluto. The Mars-Jupiter conjunction remains in effect. The conjunction of Venus and the Sun occurs at the degree of a child of about 5 carrying a shopping bag filled with groceries, a huge shopping bag. So it's basically feeling tasked with things that are overwhelming or that are maybe too much for you. Venus with conjunct the Sun at this degree will continue to help spread the burden of responsibility, the burden of the truth, which means that more people will become more aware of the truth and what's going on as they dig further into things and as things come out to, come further to light. These are very strong energetics. It's actually difficult for me to express how good it is, how good it is for victory of humanity, but that comes about through difficulties within the collective being worked out. So all of these trails are being unwound. All of these dark paths are coming to light, leading to an archway into light. And so with all of these planets doing all of these things, it has an effect on all of the bodies of man, intellectual body, the emotional body, the physical body. So also when any kind of conjunction happens with the Sun, especially with Pluto and Venus, as it is on the 9th, our bodies can take the toll, and it will the Sun when it is activated this way, any type of viruses can ramp up. And so it is important now, if you're listening to this in advance, to really, soup up your immune system and get back on track. And if you feel like you're off the track right now at the holiday, you can change that at any time. The Saturn in Capricorn is phenomenal energy to attach to change things. If you are struggling, Saturn is trying to help you make a change. I'm being kind to Saturn. Everyone who's followed me knows that I'm not a friend of Saturn. I'm trying to turn the corner there, and I think that we might be turning the corner on Saturn, and it's serving us instead of serving the cabal. Jumping to January 13th, Chiron will move to 26 degrees of Pisces, which is the new moon. Reveals that it is okay for people to go their separate ways. So this means that you might branch off and take on a new project. We might see a branching off within what's happening in the world, an offshoot of things happening, a divergence or a new path. Mercury and Saturn will make a conjunction on that day as well. And this degree is about the degree 3 Capricorn, where it will occur, is about the human soul wanting to experience more and to take on more to experience. January 15th, the moon will make that conjunction with Saturn, Mercury, and the Black Moon. This is a day that emotionality, things that we need to recognize will come up, things that or people, places, and things that we need to appreciate more will come up. It could be quite an ugly day emotionally for people if they're projecting, which happens with the Black Moon. Saturn makes people feel like a failure, and Mercury makes us think. And so that's a combination that could be very negative. But if you look at it and you flip it and try to see what the higher octave of that might be, look at what needs to be restructured. Where does your time and energy and focus need to go? Look at it as an opportunity to see how you can make a change for growth instead of letting the astrology control you. I'll end there, except I'll say that the new moon on January 16th occurs at 26 degrees of Capricorn, 54 minutes, which means we will jump to the next degree, which would be 28 degrees. So 26 Capricorn 54 would be 27 degrees of Capricorn. And since we're in that 50 degrees or 50 minutes or more, we jump to the next Sabian symbol, 28 Capricorn. The Sabian symbol is a large aviary. Excuse me. Chatter, activity, blessings from the air, the bird tribes. It's going to be a very, very interesting new moon, one that will remember when we get to 2020. We'll look back and understand why it was so pivotal. Venus will be conjunct the new moon at that time, which brings good things. And we also should watch the markets with Venus there with money. That is the first part of the storm in Saturn with humanity's victory over tyranny, how it will unfold through the January 15th, 2018. Thanks for listening.